To battle, packmates, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates Plus Mod. I'm Commodore Tarek of the new heavy cruiser Burning Claw, as we continue our campaign against the Hydran Star Kingdom. And the last time, we managed to crack the starbase at 1-9, completely destroyed it, blasted it off the face of the map, and then neutralized the tile. Haven't taken it yet, but hey, we're working on that. So the entire northern defense of this empire is completely open to our marauding forces. So without further ado, let's set off back home. Mainly because I think we need a little bit of repair. Yeah, 53 points of damage or prestige required repaired. And I forgot about that. The pseudo-frigate they got completely annihilated by enemy fighters in the last episode. Basically it showed up and then the fighters just turned it into absolute dust. But we are all prepped and ready to rock once again. So let's kick off an MET-10 patrol out in the middle of what is basically nowhere at this point. It used to be a prime hub of enemy defenses and starbases for resupplying logistics. Yeah, that's all gone now. And we blew it up with disruptors. It was kind of fun, because we normally don't get to do that sort of thing. Normally, we really avoid starbase assaults in this game. They're just incredibly devastating and difficult to win, mainly because if you get the really big defensive starbases, they'll take your lunch without any problem whatsoever, even if you're in some of the more advanced ships. Like, if you're not rocking triple battleship, and even then, you're probably not going to have much of a dent. Starbases are very hard to kill. And yeah, so I think the rarest mission type we ever take, aside from maybe Epicenter, which I don't think I've ever actually managed to record on here. Yeah, it's probably the second or third rarest one we do. Might be the second. The third rarest one I would think is MET-17 Patrol, because it's a little bit glitchy, especially in later game. I need to at some point get around to, I think, patching my game, because I think there was a patch released on it, but I'm not sure. There was a comment left on a video, and I totally forget at this point. So, we are currently squaring off against an enemy heavy cruiser. According to this, it is a THRX. Wait, what? Are we in the late era already? I was not paying attention. What episode are we on? Are we only on, like, 15 or something? 17? Huh. We're in the late era. I didn't realize that the late era was going to come around so soon. That's actually rather terrifying, because he's going to have Phaser X's, which are really powerful. Oh, he's got a lot of them, too. This is probably a carrier of some description. I say this purely because he's only got 2 heavy weapons. And if you're only rocking 2 heavy weapons and you're a heavy cruiser and you're in the Hydran Space Forces, you're probably a carrier. Then again, everything in the Hydran Space Forces is kind of a carrier. There's a couple of small minor exceptions, but yeah, pretty much everything. We're going to max up our electronic countermeasure. We're also going to set up our forward defenses. I'm really going to hope you're not a carrier, but I think you are. I think you are, and I think that's going to ruin my day. I'm going to come over here. Let's make sure we set up a power... Oh, not you. No. Go back to 5. No, I'm currently asking for 52 points of energy on that, so that would be very bad. No, we're going to tell it, make sure that you prioritize putting electronic countermeasure, and we're going to take some time to increase the speed. Alright, he's at fighter launch and distances, and... Ooh, that's not a lot. Yeah, that's 3 fighters. Ooh, I can work with that one. Alright, so the plan is, Kind of want to say the plan is just to ram right into him, but it's not. We're going to set up hard point number 4. We're going to blast him, pass through him, and then hit his fighters. Yeah, that's my plan. We need Marines. I want this gone, I want this gone, and stand by. Fire control. Now. And now 3. Kick it on, kick it on, kick it on. Turn. Ha-ha! Sorry, that was way too psyched for what we just did there. So we managed to cut through him, knock out his shields, cost 53 points of damage onto him, damaged him pretty badly, beamed over 4 boarding teams, knocked out his fighters, and I think I might be able to have enough time to get the rest of this to swing around and hit him, and the only thing we took damage on was a couple of labs. Yeah, that was a relatively efficient attack. Ooh, and he's still skirmishing fire with some light Gatling phaser fire. He hasn't managed to punch through, but frankly, I'm not super concerned about him. I probably should be. He does still have Hellbores. Let's not forget the power of Hellbores. Did you return? Oh no, you probably reset something when I hit red alert. Alright, so we're in a relatively good, strong position at this point. The power/labs will resolve itself. That's not something we actually need to spend anything to repair, and since we're at 48 power of 48 power anyway, we may as well have some fun with it. That's my hole. Yeah, 8 points of damage. Granted, I did have to fire, what, 5 disruptors in order to do that, but still, 8 points of damage at long range is still pretty decent. He is going to come in to try and cause another little bit of havoc towards me, and I've got an ESG ready for him. Oh, what's that? You don't want to get close anymore. But come back, Mr. Hydron. Nah, he's probably going to run. I don't think I'm going to be able to catch up to him. Especially if he keeps dumping mines in my face. But then again, the expanding sphere generator actually protects me from that, doesn't it? Come on, a little bit closer. Just close enough so that I can hit him with this. Oh, if you're going to do that, that's going to be wonderful. I don't know why you quite planned on that, but hey, I'm not going to complain too much. More power to speed. More power to speed. Let's haul this sucker around. Did you see how fast he made his turn? He did a high energy turn and he just whipped right through it. We have to drag this super heavy pallet the whole way through. And that hit managed to knock out our expanding sphere generator, which is a little bit annoying. It didn't actually destroy the hard point, but it did shut it off, I think. Or at least drained it quite quickly. Our forward shield did collapse. We took a little bit of damage and we're currently flying towards an asteroid, which would be very bad if we actually hit it. But I think we got him. Yeah, his speed dropped down to 9.7. He's got one phaser and he's attempting to patch a Hellbore at this point. Yeah, I think he's done. Well, you're going to make my life annoying, aren't you? Really annoying. You have more phases than I thought you did. You destroyed a phaser 3. And a disruptor. Are you kidding me, man? That's just rude. You're dead. You know you're dead. Your ship is totally defeated. I'm zipping around at a speed of 27 when I don't have to. You're down to a speed of 8.0. With most of your weapon systems offline. And you're causing damage to me? That's just rude. I think it's because of that is one of the reasons why we don't take prisoners. I mean, we could if we wanted, but I don't want to waste the cash. And that's honestly the real reason I don't want to waste the price of having to restock teams. Now, I do assume... Yeah. Anything on the ESGs? Not really. There's going to be a little bit of power. Not a little bit of damage. Just bump him. 4 damage out of that ESG. Just surrender and die. No, you're gonna make me not work for it, but just take a while. So we'll come around nice and gently. Disruptors, more disruptors, and I think the phaser pass will do him. There we go. So an enemy heavy cruiser, an X-type heavy cruiser, which not a capital X-type heavy cruiser, but still it's a little X. So phaser X's are pretty nice, and I'm really surprised we're in this era. Great, that's actually a pretty big problem. Mainly because we're starting to get to a point where the enemy's going to be able to do a lot of damage to me in a very, very short amount of time. A planetary assault, it's a neutral tile. Well, I guess we're stuck on it anyway, so here we go. Planetary assaults, always an interesting mission. They tend to pay out really well. And we're being escorted today by a DXD, so it's a very happy Klingon escort destroyer, kind of-ish. It's actually a really weird layout. It's got... Yeah, it basically swapped out the dual disruptor racks over on the starboard side. Oh no, there they are. Okay, so it's just uneven. This should actually be pushed back a little bit. I see, it is symmetrical. I'm not crazy. Just mostly. Alright, so we still have a single dreadnought currently on the scope. Nothing else at this time. It is a PAH, so one of the paladins. They're not... I don't want to say they're not super dangerous, because they are pretty dangerous. They can deal a lot of damage in a very short amount of time. He'll have 6 fighters... or maybe 8, but I think it's 6. And you're packing a 4-4 loadout on fusion cannons, right? Oh, you have a friend. Your friend is an REG, a Regent class. That's not great. I have concern. We're going to have to see exactly how this is going to play out, though. So he is equipped with, yep, it's a 4-4 loadout. So let's kick on the speed just a little bit. I'm not entirely sure how we're going to be able to pull this one off. The main problem, of course, being that 2 dreadnoughts is a lot of firepower. We can take on 1. We can, on our own, take on 1. We know this. This is 100% factual and true. Oh, it's a PLPH-5. Oh, gosh darn it. Is it worth it? Is this mission actually worth the amount of pain and suffering we're about to take? No. No. Okay, so we're not going to engage this mission. We're going to run. And the reason why we're going to run is pretty simple. We could probably fight him. Well, no, we can fight him. He will die. We might be able to get him too. But by the time we're done with that, we're not going to have enough heavy weapon systems to actually be able to engage this planet. Now, if this were just a normal, just a PL type planet, we could take it, because it wouldn't have shields. We'd be able to eventually whittle it down to nothing and take it completely on. But because it's a PLPH planet, this means that it's got full power shields. They used to be white shields, but now they're dark blue. And that's not something we're going to be able to cut through, because the amount of energy reinforcement that a planet has is more than enough to negate any sort of amount of damage that we can deal with 8 disruptors and an expanding sphere generator we won't be able to use to actually seize the planet. So we're going to run. We're not going to get involved with this kind of battle at all. I'm not interested in losing my ship for nothing. I'm not interested in taking damage on my ship for nothing. So, sayonara, we're gone. We'll come back, just not today. Also, I don't think it's a huge deal. Yeah, the planet's on Empire Defense of 35 right now for neutral. So, it's not a major issue. So we'll just keep trundling along, looking for actual fights that can actually be won. That is one of the frustrating things. If you play in one of the Western nations in this game, because if you think about it, there's one up here, the ISC over here. Oh, let's not forget the Gorn right here, and then the Romulans here, and then the Federation big here in the center, and the Klingons down here, and the Hydrons over here. But anyway, everybody over on this side of the galaxy, the eastern side of the galaxy, they have plasma torpedoes. So when it comes to breaking down a planetary defense, they can do it. They have no problem at all with that. In fact, the Romulans have the easiest job of it because they can just cloak between salvos. It's awesome. If you want to go check out a hilarious way of being able to basically take on a planet, when I think it was a light cruiser? Might have been a heavy cruiser. But really early taking on a planet, we did it in our Romulan campaign. It was really, really powerful and more than a little hilarious to me. But once you start moving over to the western side of the galaxy, where you've got races like the Lyrans, like the Klingons, their heavy weapons just can't do it. They don't have enough raw firepower to punch through those kinds of defenses all on their own. And that's a bit of a problem. Because it means that if you actually get in a mission where you're fighting against PLPH and you're not in a dreadnought or something, they can just tank the amount of damage that they can dish out, which, by the way, there's very few ships that actually can do that, then you're screwed. So, that's another reason why getting a Mauler would be a good idea, because getting a Mauler would put us in a position where basically we can ignore it. I know exactly what we're going to do. We're just going to run him the heck over. Let's kick on the forward shield to a maximum reinforcement here. And I'm going to go up to a 6. Screw you. Electronic countermeasure is going to not be anything that I'm going to worry about, because I have a bubble. Where was I? Oh yeah. So, one of the reasons why we do want to get a single-tooth lion at some point is that is the reason, because at that point we will be dishing out 92, 96 damage to a planet if we get close enough, which should be enough to crack a shield, and then once a shield is down we can follow up with just long-range disruptor fire. Because at that point, who cares? Anything that hits actual solid landmass counts. Versus anything that shoots against a reinforced shield doesn't. Alright, you're done for. Let's kick up the speed, make sure you don't get away from me. Spanish for generators on, all of the weapons, prepare. We're going to bump you, you're going to die. It's going to be moderately hilarious, and gone. No damage. No damage taken. Maybe a little bit to the forward shield from, like, disruptor splash or something. Yeah, we were close enough to get caught in the explosion, but other than that, that's the way you want to do it. Fast and clean. 150 prestige is a reward for a job, I don't want to say too well done, but decently well done. After all, we didn't take any real counterfire. And a tile neutralized, which is always nice, so the more we press down on this, the more we can get something out of it. Just steadily rolling back enemy forces, slowly working in. I think the Hydrons might be the smallest nation in this game. Not 100% sure on... Wow, okay. Not cool, game. Not cool. You're a regent. We don't have to fight you. We literally don't have to fight you. So we're not going to. I'm going to run you over, knock you out with everything that I've got, and then we're going to run away from this dreadnought. If we had friends, I would do something about it, but we don't. It's a single listening post. We're going to get away from here. Our regent is a fairly large ship, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's the battleship, but it could be. We'll find out shortly. If it's got like 12 weapons on it or something like that, then it counts as a battleship. Or is it 10? I think it's 12. Let's find out, because, let's see, the Federation is 8 plus the missile launchers? Yeah. Yeah, because it's... Wait, 10 photon torpedoes plus the 2 missile launchers. Let's see, here packing. Wow. So 6 fusion cannons and 4 hellbores. That's not actually insane. So you're a heavy dreadnought. which is nice. I mean, if I got anywhere near you, I'd be having a pretty bad day. I assume you're going to be carrying a pretty decent fighter complement. I mean, they always do, but let's kick this on. We're just going to try and blind you. And also, I need to set up the forward shield reinforcement because that's super important. Mainly because we smash into people. Granted, we use an extra shield to do that smashing, but we kind of would like this to work out with minimum damage here. So we'll set this up. Minimum range. He is going to launch fighters. I assume he is an LNH heavy war destroyer, right? Yeah, you're a heavy war destroyer. You might be a medium cruiser, but heavy war destroyer. The reason I label that is because it's an alphabet soup designation. I mean, all of the heavy war destroyers in this game, once you start getting 4 and 5 and 6 letters along with numbers to describe what variant you are, you're alphabet soup at that point. And there's really not a whole heck of a lot of point in figuring out exactly what it is. Just look for your specific designator numbers. Things like carrier or not. But since he's Hydran, every single ship is a carrier. You are a lot closer than I want you to be. And there's not a whole heck of a lot I can do about that. More power. And get ready for the ESG. This is going to be a one-pass haul butt situation. The Vizier. Open him up. There we go. And yo, it full power. We're gone. Let's see if we can actually accelerate. That's going to be the question. I want this back down to 5. The most important thing should be the engines. You're actually getting remarkably close, but I have solutions. First of all, I'm increasing speed past what you are capable of catching me, so that's one thing working in my favor. Number 2 is, do I want to waste it? I have a mine. I have several mines. So the thought would I would dump them in their face and they'd have to hit the mines or avoid. They'd attempt to avoid, but frankly they're not going to hit me anyway. They're not capable of reaching my speed. So we blasted our way through the current defenders, which, you know, that's a way of doing this mission. Then there's, of course, the version of doing this mission where you kill everybody. And that did cross my mind, not going to lie. Definitely considering it. How much damage would they really deal to me? If I could trigger this mission as a success and then decide to fight or run away, I'd do it. But I don't want to lose here. So that's kind of the problem. I want to get more successful missions to get more tiles under my control. So don't want to get too far away. How much power do I have in this boat entirely? 31 plus 6. Oh, 31 plus. So I have 6.5 in excess. Oh, mission complete. Oh, wow, at that range? Really? Huh, I thought I had to get within 10. I was actually considering whether or not I should turn back, see if I couldn't pick off the hunter-killers one at a time. The question I was trying to run through my head was what kind of power calculation do I need to run on this in order to make it actually make sense? Because I would power up my weapons one at a time to charge this up. So 350 prestige for managing to avoid a dreadnought. You successfully made it to the listening post and transferred the data. Data appears to be corrupt, so useless data. And we took the tile, which is excellent, so we are really encroaching in enemy space. We now have their next line of defense, the star system at 111, as well as the star base at 211. They like to pair things. If I can take this, that'll be really nice for invading these next 2. But that actually is going to do it for today's episode. Making some progress, pushing down south, basically beating the Klingons to the punch, which is kind of the important thing. We want this territory, not the Klingons. We may be allies with them, but we're certainly not friends. Anyway, I've been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I post one of these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment. I will see you all in the next episode.